The Tao Daily Tarot is just around the corner, but let's give you a quick little heads up. There is a deep knowing occurring. You're feeling it already as we hit eclipse season. This is going to be big. You know your life is about to change, and you have a pretty good idea what area needs changing. These are what stand in your way. And we'll give you the details. How to work your way around it coming up in just a moment. Well, hello and welcome again to this, the Tao Daily Tarot. Whether you're a first-timer, long-timer, cross-watcher, makes no difference whatsoever. Glad that you're here for this rather different tarot report. What separates this tarot reading from other readings is very simple, and that is I do archetypal readings, and I only use 8 cards from 4 decks. 8 cards, 4 decks, that's it. And people say, geez, why so few? Well, first of all, there's a nice mix in there. We have 4 decks. But secondly, the definition of the word Tao is simple, the most direct path. And so 8 cards out of 4 decks gives a very full story, especially since I am not predicting. I am, if you will, energetic weather forecasting. What I do is read the energies in the cards, because the energies are present with all of us. But the way those energies express themselves in our lives is different with every person. That's why I don't predict. I give an energetic weather report. I look at the energies of coming, going, pushing, pulling, the things that are happening to you every day. Things are always coming to you, going away from you. Things are pushing you, things are pulling you. That's life. And when you have this energetic weather report, you kind of know, is it going to be rainy? Is it going to be sunny? Is it going to be cloudy? Are we going to get snow? Are we going to get tornadoes, earthquakes? What are we going to get? You have that weather report. And then you decide how those energies fit into your life. That way, now you can negotiate your way through your life much more effectively, rather than me pronouncing with forecasting, okay? So we basically just look at the energies, then you apply them to your life. I have found the information I've had from people who have tuned in, they love this. Much more, gives them much more power. That's the point. I also do something called the energetic shuffle, and or the hyper shuffle, and I also try to get this done in about 10 minutes time, because you have a life. You can afford 10 minutes every day, but going longer than that, more is not always better. So again, following the Tao, 8 cards from 4 decks, 10 minutes, to keep you kind of focused, to keep a nice tight read for you so that you get this energetic weather report and you can make sense out of it and then have more control over your life. So we have that taken care of. I mentioned just a moment ago the hyper shuffle. Let us get to it. Let me show you. And there you go. There is the hyper shuffle. So let's get to today's Tao Daily Tarot reading. This is the overall energy card. We've had it before just a day or two ago, I believe. Deep Knowing. An appropriate card to get when you start seeing cards coming up, not necessarily every day, but every other day, every third day. There's a message there that needs to be reinforced. And this, of course, means deep knowing. You already sense, you already feel. In fact, in conversations with people, I think that last new moon that we had, that was in Taurus, I think kind of set things off. And we're going nose to nose with a full moon eclipse, a full lunar eclipse. That'll be coming up on the 26th, just a day or so away. You already know, as we enter eclipse season, what the challenge is. You already have a sense. You may not believe it, you may not accept it, but deep down inside, in your gut, you already know where the action is going to take place during this eclipse season. That's important. You have the deep knowing. Don't deny it, because in essence you are denying yourself. From here, we go to the Hanged Man, and that just re-emphasizes what I just said. That with the Hanged Man, you're stuck. You're just kind of, what do I do? What do I do? And so you're not maybe doing anything, but you can feel it. There is that deep knowing. And maybe you need a whole different perspective. But at this point, I think you're still kind of lost. I think the eclipse season will clear things up tremendously, but at this point, you feel it, but maybe not doing a whole lot with what you are feeling. And what you're feeling is critical. We then move to the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords talks about restriction, lack of direction, feeling powerless, trapped, maybe even having limited beliefs. You know, because the swords are thoughts. It's your thoughts that are keeping you prisoner. Take a look at this gal. There's nothing holding her back. She can step forward away from the swords. It doesn't look like she's that bound up. She could probably free herself there, take off the blindfold. She is a prisoner of her own thinking. And I suspect that is what we are all going through right now. That's why the deep knowing is gnawing at so many people. They know, but just not time to act, or they're just not confident enough to start to act. But this is what they're headed to. This is the energy of pushing and pulling. Yeah, the 1111 card. Four of Wands. Happily ever after. Maybe most important, commitment with enthusiasm, if not passion. You want to get back to a life where there is that juju again. You want to feel some sense of joy. You want to feel some sense of excitement or energy or possibility. And I suspect this is what this whole thing leads to. You know, with the deep knowing card, that things are going to be different, that things have to be different. It is non-negotiable. But you have to get a different perspective, and you have to break free of what you've been thinking or how you've been thinking in order to get to this 1111 card. And a good clue might be this last pushing and pulling energy card, and that is the Three of Pentacles. Cooperation, balance. You are reaching out, maybe to other aspects of yourself, your personality, maybe your family, friends. But rejoining is what you have in mind, either a part of you to you, or rejoining other people in a cooperative, positive effort. Pentacles is productive. That's what you want. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to be working on money, but whatever you are reaching out toward or want to, you want it to produce results. You want it to be productive. And that's the deep knowing again. We move to the first magnifier card, and this is the Page of Pentacles. Remember, pages always change the storyline. So pentacles are things that you value. It could be money, could be a job. That's all possible. But it could also be a change in values. Or, at this point, maybe more appropriately, as we go through the eclipse season, it becomes crystal clear. What about your priorities have changed? And you decide, boom, let's start acting on those things. Let's free ourselves from indecision with the Hanged Man and negative thinking with the Eight of Swords. Let's change all of that so we can get to where we want to go. The 1111 card. Alrighty? Yes. And the final magnifier, Two of Swords. Just repeating what we've been talking about up to this point. Two of Swords means a decision. You have to decide. And you notice on the card there are two Ace of Swords. Two beginnings. But they're crossed. Somehow they oppose each other or negate each other or challenge each other. Hence your indecision. We do know that you have the deep knowing. You know what has to be done. You know how it has to be done. You know what you are going after. You want to add in your life. But there is some difficulty in doing all of that, applying it to your life. And it may mean there are two approaches, two ways of thinking about a subject, and that's the conundrum. That's where everything is tied up. There's a log jam in your thinking. And so that's where this lies at the moment. And again, I believe the eclipse season will really open things up. And we wrap up with the vice versa card in reverse, the Emperor. And the Emperor, of course, normally is the father of the tarot. But when it's reversed like this, talking about The negative sides of the Emperor: domination, use of force, control, rigidity, inflexibility. Maybe you're being that to yourself. Or maybe you feel the world is like that you're being controlled and you have no control. And yet deep knowing tells you that's not true. You can adjust your life. You can make it work better. And if you are the source of this domination, then it's time for you to change your thinking. We've already talked about that with the Eight of Swords, the Hangman. And of course, we were just looking at the Page of Swords, or the Two of Swords. It's all a question of what you are thinking, how you are thinking. This can set you free. And I believe with the polarizing forces in this eclipse season, Sagittarius to begin with the full moon, Gemini with the new solar, the solar eclipse, those two things have to do with the mind, higher mind, lower mind. That's where the battle lies. What you are thinking, what you believe to be true, may be limiting you. And guess what? You already know that. It's simply a question of applying that to your life. And I believe this eclipse season will set you free in a very, very positive way. It's a great read. Woof, love it. Alrighty, so that's it for today. I thank you. Please like, share, subscribe. That's very important to help grow this channel. I'm depending on you to do that. You've been very supportive. Thank you so much. Much gratitude. You and I will have a chance to get again or talk tarot. That'll be tomorrow because I do a brand new tarot read every single day. But in the event that we don't join tomorrow, very easy. Get on YouTube, get to the channel, and just they're quick reads. Work yourself through it. And the next time you and I get back together to talk tarot, I always wish you blessings.